Welcome back to another blind tasting episode of Whiskey Noobs. If you are new here, if you haven't listened before, my name is Chris, and I am the host of the show. And if you didn't listen to the last episode, this is going to be another blind tasting episode. So, what we've got going on is my wife picked a bottle, any bottle. I told her anything other than what is in the podcast room, which most of my stuff is not in the podcast room. I would say, if I had to guess, 95 or 98% of what I have is not in the podcast room. Maybe I'll even overlay a video showing what we've got. But so there's hundreds, literally hundreds of bottles that she could have picked. And I have no idea what it is. And what I'm going to do, especially if you didn't listen to the last episode, or if you did, but you need a reminder, I have something in front of it right now where you guys can't see what it is. It is in a cardboard box so that I can't see what it is. And there is a piece of audio insulation, because that was the lightest thing that I had laying around that would cover it, in front of it that I had my wife put in front of it when she poured it. So, if you can listen to this episode one of two ways. You can either listen to it not knowing what I'm drinking, and you kind of go on the journey with me, or you can listen to it knowing what I'm drinking and knowing how much of a fool I'm making out of myself when it's a rye whiskey and I say that it's a bourbon. You can listen to it that way. Whichever way you want, but here's how you're going to do that. So if you're watching on YouTube and you're actually watching the video, then good for you. You're going to know whatever it is that I'm drinking once I move this piece of audio insulation. If you don't want to know whatever it is that I'm drinking, then I recommend listening on either Spotify or iTunes or whatever, wherever you get your podcasts, or just not looking at the video. If you're not watching on YouTube and you're listening on an audio version, then I recommend you, and you want to know what it is. So if you don't want to know what it is and you're listening to the audio, congrats. You're not going to know what it is until the end. But if you do want to know what it is, go over to YouTube, look up the same exact episode. All you got to do, you don't even have to do anything other than click on the episode, fast forward until you see what the bottle is, and then you can hop back to your audio version and listen to it on there. I'm more of an audio guy myself, so that's what I would personally do. But you do whatever it is that you want. While you're over on YouTube, it's vitally important that you like that video, subscribe to the channel, and ring the notification bell. See what I did there? That was just some easy marketing right there. So, you have been warned. If you don't want to know what this is, you're about to find out. It looks like she turned it just a hair, so I'm going to turn it away from me so that when I move this audio insulation, I can't see what's in here. I promise you I can't see it. If you're new here, you know that I am not a party pooper. I do this for fun. I enjoy these blind tastings. I think they're a blast, and I even like it when I make a fool out of myself, because either I don't make a fool out of myself, and I look like a pro, or I do make a fool out of myself, and then it's good clickbait. It's good for engagement, because people will just talk about how much of an idiot I am. So it works out either way for me. So you've been warned. I'm about to reveal what this is. Okay? Click away. Click away now. If you haven't yet, that's on you. Boom. Big reveal. Whatever it is. Let me drop this on the ground. Whatever it is, you can now see in the cardboard box. I cannot. This is decently in front of me, right? So here's my face if you're watching the video version. Keep going forward, keep going forward. That's where the bottle is. So, anyhow, I think I've proven my point, hopefully. Got some water here for a little bit of a palate cleanse. Let me do that, and then we're going to dive in. Okay, I dove into a little nose, and I feel like we're almost certainly drinking American Single Malt. Oh, actually, duh. Might not be American Single Malt. Might be single malt whiskey. It's malt-based, though. I'm definitely getting like the granola malty type flavor, and then I'm also getting a little bit of dried fruit, definitely some deeper fruitiness, some deeper kind of like syrupy fruitiness. So very pleasant, sweet on the nose, dessert-esque on the nose. I'm going to dive into the palate here, but what I think I'm going to struggle with in this episode is going to be, is it an American single malt, or is it a Scotch single malt, or am I wrong about that completely, and I'm really making a fool out of myself? We're about to find out. Man, that's really nice. That's really nice. It is quite complex. Malty in the front. Then you get a fruit that originally I thought was like a dried fruit or a red fruit, but now I'm leaning towards almost citrusy. Maybe like a little bit of both. I think it turns into like a darker fruit in the beginning, and then it slowly moves to like a light citrus. Then you get like a dried out note, like drier wine, like a little bit bitter, like that sort of a thing. Ooh, That's tasty, though. I'm not mad about sitting here trying to figure out what this is. I have my Middle West here. If you're watching the video, you're like, what's this bottle doing? This was my calibrating bottle in the last one that I recorded. But we're putting it down because I don't think I need it because it's not a bourbon. It is something malty. If it's a bourbon, boy, am I going to look stupid. If I was a betting man, I'd put so much money that this is malt-based. But, man, I could be wrong. So far, we've got an excellent nose, an excellent amount of body on the palate, fantastic complexity, a little bit of harshness towards the end, nice long finish. I'm still tasting it on my mouth. I should be going through my rating scale. I'm working on developing a good, consistent rating scale. I've been working on it on my Patreon where I do all of my gut reactions. When I'm first sent a bottle, I open it, I try it, and I explain what I'm thinking. And I developed that rating scale on there. I should say I'm developing it on there. What I've been doing so far, maybe I'll do it for this episode, is each thing gets ranked out of 10. So you've got nose, then you've got the body of the palate, the complexity of the palate, the harshness of the palate, and then the finish. And those are all, you'll notice those are all relatively objective. Like I'm trying to keep it as objective as possible. And then I give a plus or minus 10 point modifier. Actually, no. First I take those 5, which is out of 50, and I double it to get out of 100. And then I do a plus or minus 10 point modifier, which is subjective. So you get an objective rating, and then I can add or subtract 10 points and get a subjective rating, basically, which the subjective is just like, did I like the types of flavors that I was getting? Because there are some whiskeys that are like objectively pretty darn good, but like I personally don't like the way that they taste. So let's go through and let's jot it down real quick. Let me open up a new note on my phone. Let's see. Yeah, let's just go brand new. So nose. Let's see. That nose is really nice. Like if we're just talking about the amount of flavor versus the amount of burn, that's a really good nose. There's a little bit of an alcohol burn. There's a little bit of a chemical acetone type smell to it, but mostly flavor and sweetness and dried fruits. So I'm going to go 7 out of 10, which I think 7 out of 10 for me is like exceptional. Very good. Okay, then we're going to go body. A ton of body, which when I am talking about body, I am usually talking about how much flavor I'm getting versus how much like alcohol burn. So like if I take a drink of it, do I need to like seek out flavors and kind of wade through the alcohol burn to find the flavors, or do I just like this is flavorful? And this is what I would call very flavorful. I'm between an 8.5 and a 9. By the way, I round to 0.5s. I don't do anything other than 0.5s so far. I just like 0.5s. I'm going to stick with 8.5 for now because I think complexity is also going to be an 8.5. I'm going to confirm with one more sip, but so far this is delightfully complex. Yeah, this is fabulously complex. I get a little something different every sip that I have. We're going to go 8.5 as well. By the way, 8.5s are fantastic. 10, I don't think I would ever rank anything in actual 10. Maybe it could score 10 in like one of the categories. But like a 8.5 for me. 7 I consider exceptional. 7 is like you're not just good. You're not just meeting the standard for whatever category we're in. You are really good. So 8 is like really, really good. 8.5, we're talking this is fantastic. Between like 9 and 10, like 9 or 9.5 or even 10 is just like unreal good, which this is a new rating scale, so I haven't put that for anything yet. But that would be like, phenomenal. Harshness, a lot of times I dock whiskeys for because I think it's hard to get a lot of flavor without getting a harshness. And I don't just mean alcohol. I don't just mean like, if it's higher proof, it's bad harshness. I mean like a bitterness, a feeling of, okay, yeah. Like, you know how some bourbons will have a charred oak taste that's like nice and sweet and it's like, ooh, charred oak. And then some will have a charred oak taste that's like, ugh, whoa, I just licked a piece of charred oak. That, like, the piece of charred oak would score poorly for harshness. So, this is definitely not, the harshness isn't as high as the complexity in the body, but it's not terrible. I think I'm still going to go 7 out of 10. I think it's still exceptional. Like, not a lot of harshness at all. And finish, once again, it lingers for a long time. The only thing that makes the finish not quite as good is the harshness, I would say. I'm still going to go 7 out of 10. That's a fantastic finish. I think I'm officially going to up the body to a 9. I think the body is actually one of the standout things happening here, where it's so much flavor. I'm upping the body to a 9. So far I've got nose 7, body 9, complexity 8.5, harshness 7, finish 7, which means I've got a total of, what is that, 21, 30, 38.5 out of 50, and we're going to double that. We're going to use our calculator because this is my second glass of whiskey, and I don't want to mess it up. 38.5 times 2. 77. Phenomenal score off the rip. 77 out of 100, which in the 70s, we're talking pretty fantastic score. And I subjectively really enjoy this flavor. I'm going to add 5. So we're going to go 82 for the subjective rating. Very good rating. Probably an American Single Malt, not super high proof. Maybe 90, maybe 100. If it's higher proof than that, kudos to them because it doesn't drink like it. I think probably an American Single Malt, some kind of a fruity finish. Maybe this is Courage and Conviction Cuvee Cask. Maybe this is Virginia Distillery Company Port Cask. It honestly is reminding me a little bit of Westward's Milestone release. But I don't think it has quite enough flavor to be that. But I did score really high for body. Ooh. This is a very good American Single Malt. Fruit finish. I think Courage and Conviction Cuvee Cask is a good, but I thought that was drier than this. Could it be Westward Pinot? It could be Westward Pinot. Pinot Noir. Is it Pinot Noir finish? I think it's a Pinot Noir finish, yeah. I don't know. Or could it be a Scotch that's got a little bit of a fruity thing going on that makes me think of American Single Malt? Could be. I don't think so, though. I think this is American Single Malt. Okay, let's reveal it. So I scored it really high. I scored it like an 82. So I think I'm going to guess American Single Malt between... I'm not even going to go between. I'm going to go $75 or more dollars. Because, okay, let's say between $75 and $100. Because if it's Westward's Milestone release number 2, then it's like $250, which like is a crazy price, but it's fantastic. I personally wouldn't pay that for anything, but it's a fantastic bottle, and I'm super thrilled that I own it. So I'm going to say between $75 and $100. I'm going to say this is a really good bottle. If this is a cheap bottle, then freaking kudos to you. Okay, big reveal. I'm stalling. This is the Cuvee Cask. All right. Congrats, Courage and Conviction. I don't know how much this costs. Let's Google it real quick. Boom. Right on the money. Either $80. There's one website that's got it for $70. And there's one website that's got it for almost $100. I don't know the difference between the three. Okay. I think the one we're looking at is like $70 to $80. So, yeah. Just about on the money. And I think it drinks even higher than that. So much body. So much flavor. I've always said I liked Courage and Conviction. If you want to learn more about Virginia Distillery Company, see, I'm doing a bad job of advertising. There is a Whiskey Noobs episode where we talk to them. Let's look it up. Episode 125, What is an American Single Malt? With Amanda Beckwith from Courage and Conviction. Well, she's from Virginia Distillery Company, featuring Courage and Conviction because Virginia Distillery Company makes Courage and Conviction. Kudos to you guys. That is fantastic, actually. I thought last time I had Courage and Conviction, I thought it was a little bit drier. But I think that Cuvee finish just really adds some fruitiness to it. Really nice. Okay, well, that's all I've got to say about this bottle. I might cut this part out, but if I don't, this is probably the last episode for either a week or 2 weeks for a little bit of a holiday break to enjoy the time with my family. I hope you're enjoying the time with your family. And if this is it, then have happy holidays, have a Merry Christmas, enjoy your time with your family, with your loved ones. And we'll be back full force in the new year. Also, if you enjoyed this episode, then I think you'll really enjoy the Whiskey Noobs crew. If you go down in the description, I put it in the description of every video, every YouTube video, every podcast. You can join it, and it is the absolute best way to support this show. There are different paid tiers all the way from $3 to $100. You can pick whatever tier you want, and I think no matter what, you're getting some pretty awesome stuff in exchange, like content, access to barrel picks, virtual meetups, Discord rights, all kinds of fun things like that. So please consider going and checking checking that out. And that's all I've got, so I will leave you guys with learn to drink, drink to learn. Hi there. Since you're still here, I'm going to assume that you enjoyed the show, in which case, please just take a moment to leave a 5-star rating or review on whatever platform it is that you get your podcast from. Subscribe to the podcast because that actually really helps out. And also, if you're on YouTube, ring that notification bell. If you really like this show, though, the best way that you can support it is just checking out that Patreon page. It's in the description in the show notes or in the description on YouTube, or you can go to patreon.com/whiskeynoobs. That is the absolute best way to support the show, but also just spreading the word to other people who you think might be interested. I am so grateful for all of the forms of support that you guys give. And please, 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 most importantly, always drink responsibly. Thank you guys all so much. And in case nobody else tells you today, I got to tell you, God bless.